Hi, my name is Ikai. I'm a movement instructor, and before today's class, I'd like to share an image with you so that you can better visualize the pelvic floor muscles during the session. The image that I will show you is from this book, Pelvic Power for Men and Women by Eric Franklin. So, the pelvic floor muscles are like diamond shape. This view is from bottom up. So when we look from bottom up, you can see that there are 4 bones creating that diamond shape. The front hip bone, pubic bone, tailbone, and 2 sit bones. I draw a line here to separate the back triangle. So this is like a triangle on the back and the front triangle. The back triangle called is posterior, and the front triangle is called anterior pelvic floor muscles. Over-tensioned posterior triangle, posterior pelvic floor muscles can cause spasms in the pelvic floor muscle group and in the tissue. Over-tensioned glutes, hamstrings, and the back muscles can cause those spasms and the overactivated posterior pelvic floor muscles. That creates a kind of imbalance between the front triangle and the back triangle. So my goal here is in this channel right now to make you feel the pelvic floor area more, create more sensations, and also balance the front and back and the right side and the left side of the pelvic floor. One last time, we will be talking about these muscles and working on conditioning them today. So let's get you started. Have a seat on your mat. Cross your legs in front of you if you feel comfortable. And tune into your pelvic floor muscles. We talked about 4 bones that the pelvic floor muscles are attached to. Right now, when the pelvis in upright position, I'm feeling the right sit bone and the left sit bone. Let's shift the body weight a little to the left side and feel the left sit bone. Come back to the center and then shift the body weight to the right and feel the right sit bone. When I lean back, I'm shifting the body weight to the back, my tailbone, and when I lean forward, kind of hinging from the hips as I keep the spine straight, I'm moving towards the pubic bone. Right now, the pubic bone is not touching to the floor. So right now the pelvic floor muscles are facing the floor down. Let's engage them. Take a nice and deep inhale all the way down to the pelvic floor muscles. Can you direct the air down through your back all the way down to the pelvic floor on the inhale? And on the exhale, imagine that you're pulling the pelvic floor muscles gently up. It's not squeezing them together. It's really pulling them up. Let's do it again. Breathing in all the way down to the pelvic floor muscles through the spine. And on the exhale, pull the pelvic floor muscles up towards your rib cage, up towards your organs. Inhale and breathe in. Direct the air down. And on the exhale, pull the pelvic floor muscles up. And then, now let's lay down on your back. We will integrate the pelvic floor in our movements. Bring your spine all the way down on your back. Relax your neck and your shoulders. I recommend you to use a pillow to relax the neck muscles. When we are on our back, now the pelvic floor muscles are facing the front wall, my feet, right? And then slowly, can you move your tailbone forward towards your pubic bone as if you are pulling the fibers of the pelvic floor muscles forward and up? That creates a little tilt on the pelvis. So the pelvis is tilting backwards. Let go of that and reach the pubic bone away from you and bring your pelvis into that central alignment again. When my pelvic floor muscles are facing the front wall or my feet, it is the central alignment of my pelvis. When I pull the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone, engaging the pelvic floor muscles, that creates, together with the lower abdominals, a posterior tilt on the pelvis. So the pelvis is tilting backwards. Let go of that engagement and reach the pubic bone away from you and find that central alignment of your pelvis again. Adding on. So tune into your left sit bone. Slowly, when you rotate the left leg out to the side, like the way we did in the previous videos, we are tensioning the left side of the pelvic floor muscles through this inner thigh engagement because they share the same attachment point. And then ground your right foot, rotate your pelvis to the left side so that we are tensioning the left and the right side of the pelvic floor muscles through the inner thighs of both legs. Move the tailbone towards the pubic bone, engaging the pelvic floor, posteriorly tilting the pelvis, and then bringing the pelvis back to the center. Let the left leg follow. Then let go of that engagement, reach the pubic bone away from you in order to center your pelvis again. Let's do the right side. Externally rotate your right leg and feel how the inner thigh muscles are tensioning here while you're stabilizing the pelvis. And then rotate your pelvis towards your right side. Right now we are tensioning the tissue of the pelvic floor, the right side and the left side. Then let's engage the muscles of the pelvic floor, tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone. Carry the pelvis back home through the muscle engagement and carry the right leg back in to the center. Reach the pubic bone away from you. Let's do one more time. Externally rotate your left leg. Let your pelvis follow. Move your tailbone forward to the pubic bone into a posteriorly tilted alignment. And then rotate your pelvis back to the center. Bring your left leg back in. Reach the pubic bone away from you. Bring your pelvis into the central alignment. Last time to the right side. Externally rotate your right leg. Then rotate your pelvis to the right side. Can you really move the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone without squeezing your glutes? Bring the pelvis back to the center and then you let your right leg follow. Reach the pubic bone away from you to bring the pelvis into that central alignment again. Relax the pelvic floor muscles fully here. When we are in upright position, like when we are standing or sitting, it is not possible to fully let go of the pelvic floor muscles because by nature they have their tone in order to be able to carry the weight of the organs. But right now, when we are on our back, we are not carrying the weight of the organs. We are not carrying the legs in tabletop position, which means also we are not carrying the weight of the legs. So it is safe for the pelvic floor muscles fully relax, fully let go. Let's practice that. Breathe in all the way down to the pelvic floor muscles, tune in. And on the exhale, can you let go fully, consciously? Now we will engage. Breathe in. On the exhale, move your tailbone forward towards the pubic bone. Pull the tailbone up towards the pubic bone and create a posterior tilt. Then engaging the leg muscles and the lower abdominals, take your hips just off the floor. When we are here, in order not to over-engage the posterior pelvic floor muscles, make sure that you are not grabbing through your glutes. No tension around the posterior pelvic floor muscles. Remember the image that I showed you in the beginning. And then ground your big toes and your feet strongly. Continue tilting your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Pull the tailbone forward to the pubic bone and your pubic bone up towards the belly button, and bring your spine, your pelvis into a shoulder bridge position. Breathe in. And on the exhale, slowly articulate going down. Bring the back of your rib cage, the bottom rib area on the floor. And then your lower back on the floor. Feel the back of your pelvis touching. When you feel the pelvis on the floor, let go fully. Reach the pubic bone away from you. Really center your pelvis on your mat. Again, breathing in, move the tailbone forward to the pubic bone and tilt your pelvis backwards as moving the pubic bone towards the belly button. Pause here. At this height, I don't need the strong superficial muscle group engagement, so can you let go of the glutes and instead use your inner thighs, use the back of the legs, deep abdominals and the pelvic floor. Breathing in. And on the exhale, continue pulling, tilting your pelvis backwards, moving the tailbone towards the pubic bone, grounding the feet ever so slightly, push the body weight up towards the shoulders and feel how the leg bones go deep into the hip socket. Open the front of the hip joint. And then on the next exhale, slowly start articulating the spine. Bring the bottom rib area on your back down. Feel the lower back touching to the floor bone by bone and your pelvis. Then let go of the pelvic floor muscles fully. Reach the pubic bone away from you. Keep your pelvis centered, close your legs together. And then fully, as you stabilize your pelvis, fully open your legs, your knees out to the sides. Of course, as much as you feel comfortable. If you feel any discomfort here, please carry your legs a little higher so you take care of yourself. When we are here, we are pulling the both inner thighs out, which means through their attachment points, we are tensioning the pelvic floor tissue with the help of the inner thigh muscles. And then I want to engage the pelvic floor muscles right now. Move the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone. Feel how that tensions your inner thighs a little bit more and takes the knees a little higher up. Then use the muscles of the inner thighs, close your legs together, let go of the posterior tilt of your pelvis. Again, open your knees out to the sides. Try to stabilize your pelvis. When you try to stabilize your pelvis, it means the deep pelvic floor muscles are working together with the deep back stabilizers. And then feel the tension on your inner thighs. Maybe you can feel that your inner thighs are also tensioning the pelvic floor muscles, or maybe you don't feel it at this moment. That's okay. The goal is to go there. And then engage the pelvic floor. Tailbone to the pubic bone. Can you pull the back fibers forward almost towards the pubic bone, the back fibers of your pelvic floor? And then create a posterior tilt. Then slowly close your legs together. Feel how that brings softness into the tissues. And then you let go, reach the pubic bone away from you. Now, open your legs again, all the way while you're stabilizing your pelvis. Breathe in. On the exhale, lift your legs only halfway up. Now I'm tensioning the inner thigh muscles. I'm tensioning the inner thigh tissues. But not as much, so I can engage the pelvic floor muscles better while I'm stabilizing my pelvis. We're doing the butterfly wings, meaning moving the knees up and down in a rhythmical way while stabilizing the pelvis in central alignment. I'm stimulating the pelvic floor tissue right now. I'm strengthening the tissues and the muscles of my inner thighs. When you're ready with the next exhale, close the legs all the way in and feel the strengthening of the muscles. Let's do it again. Open your knees all the way out while you're stabilizing your pelvis through the pelvic floor muscles and your back muscles. And then lift your knees only halfway up. Breathe in. On the exhale, engage the pelvic floor muscles and let's do the butterfly wings. Moving the knees up and down like butterfly wings. Working on the inner thigh muscles, working on the pelvic floor muscles. While my legs are moving rhythmically, I'm trying to notice the micro movements happening on my pelvis, and I'm trying to stabilize that movements, not fixate them, but stabilize through the muscle engagements of the pelvic floor. Close the legs together again. Now, probably you're feeling the inner thigh muscles more. Separate your feet mat width apart. So not sit bone width, but the mat width, a little wider than normal. Take a nice and deep inhale. Make sure your feet are parallel to each other. Move your tailbone forward towards the pubic bone and your pubic bone towards your sternum, breastbone. And then slowly articulate and take the pelvis off the floor. Now tune into the glutes. Are they dominating the rest of the structures? Meaning, are they too strongly engaged? If so, can you let go of them at this height? Then continue moving the tailbone towards the pubic bone. Ground your feet ever so slightly. Push the body weight a little to the shoulders. It's not an actual movement that is happening when I push myself backwards, but it's more like the head of the leg bones are going into the hip socket a little stronger. Then slowly rotate your legs out and your feet out to the pinky sides of your feet. Right now, the glutes are working. Then bring your legs back to parallel, your feet back to parallel. Right now, your hamstrings, the back of the legs are working. And then maintain the hip height. Turn the knees in where there's happening an internal rotation in the hip socket. When you do this, it is your inner thigh muscles are working, carrying the body weight. Again, rotate the knees out. Take your feet onto the pinky sides. The emphasis is on the glutes. Then bring your feet down. The emphasis, the focus is on the hamstrings. Then turn the knees in. Now the focus is on the inner thighs. Breathe in. On the exhale, slowly articulate the spine. While you're keeping the knees together, bring your torso down, your pelvis down. Let go of the pelvic floor muscles fully and separate the knees again. Walk your feet in a little bit more so they will be sit bone width apart. Engage the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals, meaning without creating any movement on your pelvis, can you pull the pelvic floor muscles up towards the rib cage? And then use that engagement to carry the weight of your left leg up to the tabletop. Maintain the engagement as you lower your left foot down. Try to maintain the 90-degree angle at the hip socket. Now we are not carrying any weight of the legs or the organs, so it is safe for the pelvic floor muscles. Fully let go. Let go of the pelvic floor muscles. Breathe in. On the exhale, pull the pelvic floor muscles up towards the rib cage and tabletop your right leg this time. Slowly lower the right leg down, maintaining the engagement on the pelvic floor muscles. Bring the right foot down onto the floor and fully let go of the pelvic floor. Breathing in. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor muscles again. This time we start with the right leg. Tabletop your right leg. Maintaining the engagement, lower the right leg down. Let go of the pelvic floor muscles fully. Breathe in. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor muscles, pull them up. Carry the left leg up to tabletop. And then maintain the engagement, lower the left leg all the way down. Let go of the pelvic floor muscles. So we are conditioning the pelvic floor muscles here. What we're conditioning is the adaptability. We want the pelvic floor muscles to be adaptable. Engage them again. Tabletop your right leg. When I'm carrying the weight of my leg, I'm using the pelvic floor. Lower the right leg down. Now I'm relaxing them because I don't need them, so that I'm avoiding the excessive tension, unnecessary tension, when I don't need the muscle engagement or the tissue. Engage the pelvic floor muscles one more time. Tabletop the left leg. And then lower the left leg all the way down. Fully let go of the pelvic floor. Train the adaptability of the pelvic floor consciously, so that while you're living your life, the pelvic floor muscles will automatically almost do what they're supposed to do. Engage the pelvic floor muscles again. Tabletop your right leg. Now this time we will increase the engagement of the pelvic floor. You're going to engage as much as necessary to carry the other leg up to the pelvic floor. While doing this, make sure that your neck is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. Bring the first leg down onto the mat, decrease the engagement of the pelvic floor, and then the second leg down and fully relax the pelvic floor muscles. We will do one more. Inhale here. On the exhale, engage. Pull the muscles up. Tabletop your left leg. Now engage the pelvic floor muscles stronger. Tabletop the right leg too. Breathe in. On the exhale, left leg goes down. Decrease the engagement of the pelvic floor. And then right leg goes down. Fully let go of your pelvic floor muscles. Breathing in. Exhale, tabletop your right leg. Engage the pelvic floor stronger as much as necessary. Tabletop the left leg. Lift the arms up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, reach the arms towards the legs. Lift the head and shoulders. Bend the elbows. Pull the knees to your chest. And then use the legs to rock back and forth as you elongate, as you maintain the length, space between each and every vertebra, as you rock back and forth. When you're ready, carry yourself all the way up on your sit bones. Keep your hands where they are. Push the feet away from you, stationary. They're not gonna move actually. And feel how that tilts your pelvis backwards, so towards the tailbone. And then draw the feet towards you, stationary. Again, it's just pulling actually. And then carry yourself up on your sit bones. Feel how that brings you into a more upright position. Let's do this one more time. Push your feet away from you. Feel how that rounds your pelvis and carries you on your sit bone. And then pull the heels towards you and feel how that brings you into that upright position. Now let's cross the legs in front, shift the body weight forward on your all fours, walk yourself back to the center of your mat. If you need to, if you use the pillow, remove the pillow. Right now, when we are here in all fours position, the pelvic floor muscles that I showed you in the book are facing the back wall. Let's use the arms to shift the body weight back. Can you maintain the central alignment of your pelvis? Can you still keep the pelvic floor muscles facing the back wall? And then you use the arms to shift the body weight forward, breathing in. On the exhale, reach the pubic bone to the back wall, reach your tailbone to the back wall, and two sit bones, shift the body weight back. Now use the arms to shift the body weight forward. Generally, in the beginning, when we start to practice this shift, what happens is, as we shift back, the pelvis curls. So can you pay attention to really keeping the pelvis in central alignment when you shift back and then when you shift forward? I'm adding on. Pull the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone. Let that round your pelvis. Let that round your lower back, upper back, and let the head hang. Right now, I am lengthening my sit bones down towards my knees, and I am lifting my pubic bone up towards my breastbone, creating a beautiful curve on my back. Use the arms to shift the body weight back, but can you maintain the curve on your back as you shift the body weight back? Breathe in. And then let go of the curl, let go of the posterior tilt of your pelvis. Turn the pelvic floor muscles to the back wall. Lengthen the lower back, lengthen your thoracic spine, your rib cage, and your neck. Reach through the back of the head. Use the arms to shift the body weight forward. When I'm here, I'm carrying the body weight with my arms and my legs. When I posteriorly tilt the pelvis, move the tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone, I'm engaging the deep core muscles and the abdominals to help my arms and my legs to carry the body weight. This also tensions my lower back tissue, fascia. Use the arms to shift the body weight back, and now when I shift the body weight back, I am unloading the arms. The hands are not loaded here. Yes, they are on the floor, but they are not carrying the body weight anymore. Then what is carrying the body weight? It is the core muscles together with the back tissue holding us in this position while we're here, together with the legs, of course. And then when I let go, my back muscles are taking over from my back fascia, the tissue. So this is more muscle focused weight bearing on the legs and the back than the fascia focused. Let's do one more time. Shift the body weight forward. Tilting the pelvis, tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone, engaging the pelvic floor muscles, pulling the pelvic floor muscles up towards the rib cage. My hands, legs, core muscles working. When we shift the body weight back, I'm unloading the arms. So the arms are unloaded. The lower back tissue is strengthening right now because it's carrying the weight of my upper body. When I let go of the curl, it is the muscles taking over, and I'm finding the length and the strength. Shift the body weight forward again. Now keep the back flat, shift the body weight all the way back on the heels. Right now we are in this upright position. Press the shin bones down and then carry yourself up. take your hands to the hip joint. We will be folding from the hips and going all the way down to the heels. Try to maintain this upright position as much as possible. Press the shin bones down and lift yourself up. Again, carry the body weight slowly down onto your heels, breathing in. Press the shin bones down, breathe out, and come up. One more time, engaging the pelvic floor muscles, using the pelvic floor muscles while slowly lowering ourselves down. Of course, the leg muscles are working too, but I'm cueing the pelvic floor because today's focus is the pelvic floor. Press the shin bones down and you carry yourself all the way up. Let's add on. This time, I don't want to go all the way. Can you only go halfway and bounce up? So let's add a little rhythm to this. We will go only halfway and bounce up. It doesn't have to be halfway. Go as far as you feel buoyant and let the pelvic floor muscles really bounce you up, catch you together with the leg muscles before you relax the body weight down onto the heels. So we're conditioning the pelvic floor muscles to really come on board when something fast happens and catch us. The pelvic floor muscles are catching us and making us to feel buoyant and elastic. Hold it here. Ooh, I'm feeling the legs. Breathe in. On the next exhale, fold from the hips. Lengthen the tailbone down, pull it forward, and give yourself a beautiful articulation here. Again, fold from the hips, inhale. Exhale, posteriorly tilt the pelvis and open the front of your hip joint. Fold from the hips, bring your hands down onto the floor, shift the body weight forward. Feel the length on your spine, stretch one leg back, tuck your toes under, and then stretch the other leg back. Push the body weight all the way back. Right now, I'm aiming to turn my pelvic floor muscles up towards the ceiling. I don't want to be in curled position. Can you lift the pubic bone up together with the tailbone? In order to be in this central alignment, if you need to bend your knees, please bend your knees. The goal is not to keep the legs straight. The goal is to turn the pelvic floor muscles as high as possible in order to create a real centered alignment on the pelvis and the spine. And then lower the heels, extend the legs. Move the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone and your pubic bone up towards the belly button. As you reach your heels to the back wall, shift the body weight forward towards your front support. Use the arms, push the body weight back while you're really lifting the pubic bone up in order to turn the pelvic floor muscles up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees if necessary to carry yourself into the centered alignment. Again, heels down, extend the legs, tailbone to the pubic bone. Pull your sit bones towards the knees, the back of the legs, and then articulate your spine while shifting the body weight forward. This is called big wave. Elongate the spine. Push the hands forward and away to lift the pubic bone up towards the ceiling. We will do one more big wave. Tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone, tilting the pelvis, opening the front of the hip joint, but still lengthening the sit bones towards the hamstrings. Front support. Slowly bend one knee down, the other knee down, and then shift the body weight back. Now we will do small wave. Again with the pelvic floor muscles. Move the tailbone forward towards the pubic bone to the breastbone, shifting the body weight forward to the kneeling front support. When I'm here, I'm pulling the tailbone forward and lengthening the sit bones, and then push the body weight back. Let's do one more time. Tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone. Open the front of your hip socket, elongating the spine, and then shift the body weight back. This time, as you tilt your pelvis, draw your hands towards the knees, articulate, and bring yourself all the way up. If you are facing the sideways like me, you can face me now. Let's continue with the conditioning of the pelvic floor. We will start with the right leg. Internal rotation, external rotation of the right leg. Make sure the heel and the knee are in the same alignment. Grounding the right foot down, shift the body weight towards the right side. If you are at your end range, take yourself a little off the end range by engaging the pelvic floor muscles. And then pull the heel to the knee and your knee to the heel, as if you're trying to close your legs together. The pelvic floor muscles are still engaged. I'm strongly pulling my legs in together and feeling the tension that I'm loading the tissue right now. Then press the big toe joint and push yourself back to the central alignment. And let's do this in more elastic way. So, bouncing towards the right side and push. Try to push with the toe to carry yourself up. While I'm doing this, I'm aiming that my pelvic floor muscles will kick in and bounce me back to the center. Push. When something fast happens, it is not the muscles engaging that fast to save us from something bad happening. It is the tissue really freezes in a fraction of a second and bounces us back. This is what we are training right now. Adding on, lift the heel off the right foot and rotate it in. Right now, I am having an external rotation in my hip socket, and then bounce twice, hold, pivot on the heel, turn your toes and your knee forward. Now I'm having an internal rotation on the hip socket, bounce twice, hold, lift the heel up, external rotation, pivoting on the toes, so the heel turns in, the knee turns out, external rotation, bounce twice, still conditioning the leg muscles and the pelvic floor. Turning it in twice. Center, lift the heel, and then bring the leg into that central alignment. If you need to walk more, please do so until you come into this central alignment. Now, it is when the leg was on the side, it was more like the inner thighs. Now it is more like my quadriceps and the back of my leg. Let's do twice. Double bounce, push back. Double bounce, push back. Double bounce. One more. Coming back, reach the arms forward and up. Circle the arms around. When you shift the body weight back, can you rotate yourself to the right side? Push back. I'm doing this slow. Rotate to the left. Right, left. Rotate to the right. Turn to the left. left. Left arm reaches forward as you rotate yourself to the right. Breathing in, keep the spine in elongation. Try not to fold. Let's do, 2 more. 1 more, and then we arrive. Lift the toes up, pivot on the heel, turn the knee. Double bounce. Lift the heel up, pivot on the toes, internal rotation, double bounce. External rotation, double bounce. Use the leg, push with the leg. Internal rotation, double bounce. External rotation, double bounce. When you're ready, lift the heel up, internally rotate, externally rotate. Fold from the hips. Sit back and curl up. Carry yourself up. Open the front of the hip joint. 1 more time, 2 more times. Sit back and curl up. This is the last one. Sit back and curl up. Let's do the other leg too. Internal rotation, external rotation. Now the left leg is on the side. Remember, I mirror talk. Breathing in, lengthen the sit bone down. Shift the body weight to the left. Engage the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals. Take yourself off your end range. Pull the heel to the knee, knee to the heel. Imagine you're trying to close your legs together. Right now, we are loading the tissue. Still engaging, breathing in and out. The pelvic floor muscles are working. The inner thigh muscles and the tissues are in the equation. Then press the foot down and shift the body weight back to the center. Double bounce, push back, double bounce, push back. I'm training my tissue together with my pelvic floor muscles to catch me if something fast happens. Because as I said, muscles are not fast enough when things happen really fast. It is the tissue freezes almost in fraction of a second. Let's say when we catch a really fast ball, or when we slip while walking in the flip-flops. And then let's lift the heel up, rotate the heel in so the leg rotates out. We are in an externally rotated position, back. Pivot on the heel, turn the toes and the knee in. Pivot on the toes, double bounce. Pivot on the heel, double bounce. And walk the foot in front of you. Do this as much as you need to. Now we're in this central alignment. Hip, knee, ankle, elongating the spine. 1, 2, bounce. 1, 2, push with the foot. 1, 2, push with the foot. Single rhythm. Ready? Let's lift the arms. Adding the arms. Circle the arms around, elongating the spine. When you're ready, shift forward, rotate to the left. Shift forward, rotate to the right. Forward, right, left, right, left, right. Elongating the spine. Breathing in and out. Keep the pelvis centered as much as necessary while keeping the pelvis as much as possible, that's what I meant, while the things are happening really fast. 2 more, 1 more, and then we arrive. Let's continue the bounces twice, and we will walk the foot back to the side as we train the muscles and our tissue to bounce us back. 1, 2, push. 1, 2, push. And when you arrive next time, lift the heel up, internally rotate the leg, externally rotate the leg. Fold from the hips, sit back and curl up. Pelvic floor muscles, legs, everything's working. Sit back and curl up. One more time. Folding from your hips. Bring your hands down onto the mat. Shift the body weight forward. Stretch your right leg back. Tuck your toes under. Pull the toes in. Elongate the spine. Stretch the left leg back. Push the body weight all the way up. Can you really make this about the pelvic floor muscles instead of about the shoulders? So I want to keep my arms centered in their joint. I don't want to excessively push myself back. My arms are centered in their joint now. Then, if you need to if you need to bend the knees to center the pelvis better, please do so. Breathing in. On the exhale, lower the heels down. Extend the legs. Tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone. Big wave. Elongating the spine. Reach the crown of the head while your heels are reaching to the back wall. Use the arms, fold from the hips. Again, tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone. Open the front of the hip joint, shift the body weight forward, elongate your spine. Use the arms to push back. Now, lift the heels up. Bend your knees deep and bounce twice. Extend the legs, lower the heels. Lift the heels, bounce twice. Extend the legs, lower the heels. 2 more. Let's do 1 more. And then big wave again. Tailbone to the pubic bone to the breastbone. Shift the body weight forward. Bend one knee down, the other knee down. Untuck your toes. Shift the body weight back. Tilt the pelvis. Draw the hands towards you. Go into a low kneeling. And then we arrive. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments.